Okay, we're recording again.
Okay, we're rolling again. Yes, thank you. So just to give you guys your time, we're a little late started. The first thing I wanted to say was thank you for coming to this. I know that sometimes professional development can be stressful, so I appreciate you coming. And secondly, I wanted to recognize the math committee members that go to this training with me. I am not the only one that does all of these slides and all of this work. So if you could stand if you're a math committee member. I believe Becky and Kathy are the only ones. So yay to them, yes, thank you. And Danny Carlin is, and Candace Grenza, they're just not here right now. All right, so let's get started. Again, day 2. So these are our outcomes for today's meeting. We're going to discuss where to find the 3 structure reproducibles. We're going to introduce and explore the 20 mini lessons, and we're going to look at the data from your survey from the last meeting to discuss what you guys are interested in learning more about. So if you look on your table, I placed out some little packets. I'm giving everyone a paper copy of the reproducibles, and then if you're a team lead or a math lead, can you make sure that you're following along with me? Yeah. That would be great. Like if
we're
you're
on slide 13. So you have to scroll to the bottom.
Please, Anna. Okay, so these are paper copies for you. If your teammates aren't here, please take them. And what I wanted to show you is that there are several places to find these. Okay? So this is the website where you can find them online if you are like me and like tech things that I can save in a folder rather than pieces of paper. But I wanted to give you the option. And so when I'm talking about a reproducible, I mean that something you can copy and use, and if you'd like, you can write lessons on it. It is not an expectation. It is just something for you to use. So if you look at your pages, the first page on the front and the back will actually be the task and share, which is the first structure of the math workshop. And on the back, I find this second page awesome because it gives you everything. It's like a checkbox, a checklist. So it shows, okay, did I do a routine that was engaging? Did the student discourse happen? Was the routine accessible by all students? So it just gives you a checklist of the things that you should have if you were to use this particular structure. And so the second page is going to be the whole small whole, okay? The front is the just like kind of lesson plan, the date, the big idea, the number sense routine, and depending on the structure, what you need to do. The back is a checklist for that. And then the third page is the small group station task, okay? I am again going to repeat myself. This is not an expectation. This is just a toolkit, a tool for you to put in your kit if you want to use it. It's to show you how the 3 structures work, and you can break it up if you have a lesson to plan. Okay, so this is for you. You guys can all take this. Now that you have access to the slideshow, you have the actual link to go into the book. That is if you did upload your book. I had sent an email about if it wasn't working for you to try again. Okay, so that's our first step of the day. And now we're going to talk about something that I find really fascinating in the math workshop book. And it is, notice it says 20 mini lessons to a classroom culture that works. It's not the first 20 days, okay? You can use it as the first 20 days if you think that that would be great. I think it's great to use for the first 20 days, so I want you thinking ahead to next year, okay? I don't expect, and I don't think Chris expects any implementation yet of these things. I think next year is when the implementation is going to start happening. But this is just to give you a feel for how you can start your year out, okay? And I wish we had this year because we were looking for the Go Math stuff and we didn't have it yet, so it would have been great. So what the 20 mini lessons are, you're basically going through the guidelines for Math Workshop with your students. So you're basically teaching them what they're doing, the procedure for this, the practice is happening so that they'll know what the structure is for the rest of the year. I know this slide has a lot on it, but we're going to do a breakout session in a minute. So if you have your books, I'd like it if you would turn to page 47. I'm sorry, your Math Workshop book by Jennifer Lund.
I opened it right before just all that.
And what I'm noticing is that my special ed teachers do not have this book, so I am going to speak with Brian about getting you guys a copy because you need it as well. So it gives you kind of the overview of the 20 lessons. If you look on page 47 and you flip 48, 49, and 50, those are the 20 mini lesson overviews, okay? So you've got your lesson title, what your guidelines are, and the description. It's a great outline, okay? So when you break out with your team today, I want you to talk about which of the lessons your students might need. Maybe they need it now. We know they're going to need all of them at the beginning of next year. But think about now, okay? Pick one lesson that you're like, I could really go over that in class, okay? Then what we're going to do is I'm asking my math leaders in each team or my team lead, first grade, I'm going to need one of you to take the reins for today. What you're going to do is I'm going to give you a bit.ly link. So you're going to copy it off of the slide. You're going to paste it into the internet, okay? What you're going to do is create a copy for your team of these 20 math lessons. So here's the bit.ly, okay? So it would be Becky, Anna, Kathy, if you want to, or Lauren, you can. I need someone in second, obviously someone in third, but you guys can handle it. So whoever is in the slideshow right now, copy this bit.ly, paste it into the internet, and I guess I'll run through this with you.
Mine did last week. Last time we were here, she helped me. When I had registered.
So when you open it up, you need to make a copy. What you can do when you click make a copy is at the top, you could put HLS 3rd grade mini lessons, right? Or you put it for your grade level, okay? So what this is kind of just an example of how we broke it up when we did our class, okay? And as the math committee, we felt that this was the most helpful way to use this. But we did 4 columns for mini lessons. Well, actually, yes. So this is mini lesson 1, which is already done for you. Then you have 2, 3, 4, and if you scroll down, it goes through all 20 mini lessons. I'm not asking you to do this today. We don't have enough time. But I would like it if you would talk with your team. I'm going to give you about 7 to 10 minutes. Talk with your team. Find one of the 20 mini lessons that you feel you could actually use in the next couple weeks. Like, oh yeah, my kids need a reminder. And then go through and fill these things out. Okay? So if you look, add to the anchor chart. The anchor chart means there's that whole, it's the whole math workshop. So you're going to have like a double anchor chart of each thing each day. The first day is I will be an active listener, and that's for the students, okay? Your anchor charts are pretty much made for you. What you're putting in is what the teacher would say, what the students would do, and this is obviously not a long thing. The prep work, what you have to get together before, and that's it. Okay, so it gives you just a little bit about, okay, what do I need to do for this lesson? And then all the lessons are in your book for you. So it's kind of nice. So what I want you to do in the next, let's say 7 or so minutes, I want you to break up in teams. I want you to look at your book, okay? See what lessons you're kind of interested in. And then whoever the team leader person at the table is, you're just gonna fill out one lesson. That's it, okay? Any questions? What questions might you have? All right, you may go ahead.
Well, one of them that did was definitely
So
using
is there a detail, more detailed description?
Yeah, there's a mini lesson for each one, like this.
So this chart's just summarizing the
Yeah.
mini lesson? Oh, I see. So this
Yeah,
is
it's
like a planner.
That's like a plan.
This is like a planner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You were saying
I understand.
definitely using that tool. Because when they come into kindergarten, a lot of them haven't used any of them.
Is that something you want to do now or at the beginning of the year?
Oh, I thought this was for the beginning of the year.
Me too.
But if there's something that we can do pressure on, we can use now.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Like, especially if you're deciding to do this next year, to practice some of these now.
You know what?
See how they might fit in.
Yeah, because we have shared those math chats with us, and we were doing a lot of talking about our thinking.
So it was in your.
Number 4 caught my eye because I would like to transition that into
Because
more.
they're probably more this time of the year where they kind
Number
of
3 is relevant to kindergarten.
It's all around.
Well, I mean, just think about that. Like, during math, I will actually think about math.
That can't be guaranteed anytime during the day.
But they could use training on how to focus. I mean, that makes sense. It's really like I was saying to Lauren, it's like
This is
teaching
like all
them.
year in kindergarten.
This is really teaching the habits of mind of math literacy. When you really think about it, it's like, how do I think like a mathematician? Well, number 1, I have to stick to math when I'm doing my thinking. I have a puppy.
So I would even say before the 4. I mean, I know we started with the math talks, but before 4, even just talking about it. Number 3.
These are things too you could probably revisit.
Yes, you're right.
Like at the beginning of a new math unit. It's like, oh, and like or if you're about to do a turn and talk, hey, remember, this is our rule for like talking about your thinking during math.
Sure, go ahead. I'm just reading it. You guys can do that.
So this would be, are we doing it on mini lesson 2?
3.
So we're keeping this template the same, but just adding to it. Okay.
Yeah. So when you guys opened it, it created a copy for you. So
For checking work.
what you should do is
Double check
create a
this.
copy of the
Check it out.
Sure. Oh, okay, sorry.
So we're looking to add
It's talking about like communication and how that it's important that everybody has something to say.
But there are 3 ways that we teach it.
Each of their classmates have ideas and opinions, respecting everyone's ideas, being open-minded. So, yeah, that's all that.
Where are you seeing?
You talking to me? Here,
Oh, I see it. Okay, down here at the bottom.
page 55, yeah. Right before that list.
What do you mean?
It says write the 3 actions on a poster. Is that what you mean? So,
So talking about if you think
But if you do it at the beginning of the year,
means
Going to my plan book, you can say, okay, math is going to be Okay, so we don't
I guess it's important. I guess everyone has to feel comfortable to discuss their ideas.
Students will
And
to then pair up with a partner.
and the students have to know that their classmates all have ideas and opinions, and be respectful of everyone's
Solve a
ideas.
problem or two on their own.
Two things. It's the what you just said, like the respect and sort of the kindness aspect, and then the 5 things you have listed here about the what you're saying.
Is that what else is that students will
Maybe
do?
that's the students will do. Yeah, you're right.
keep talking and I'll add it.
What are the other things students will do? Prep work.
Okay, so did somebody open up one of the
That's it.
Did
Okay.
you guys have it?
What's your,
I figured it wouldn't struggle.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, gotcha. Would you do me a favor and kind of like
Oh,
cleaning around? You're fine. I know you're busy.
no.
Listening and
Fine.
learning from others' opinions and ideas.
Yes.
Are you guys okay?
Yes.
Okay.
You know what else is important?
Are you
That
guys done?
She says here that on the other page that it's
Well, students
If you want to do
the teacher's going to encourage the students to be silent first so that they can think first, I guess, about the problem or whatever.
You know what I've been doing with my students recently? Is they always have those high kids that call out all the time. I have them whisper their answer into their hand. Have you done that? Take his whole brain. And then when they have their answer, they hold it up. And then you say 3, 2, 1, release. So that kid who always answers doesn't. Or we make him answer first.
doing this to I do too.
Read it. Read it. Or sometimes kids read it on the way back from lunch. You're like, no. That's not your job. I know you're trying to help, but
Fist
no,
to 5,
not
how
your
much
job.
time you need?
Like,
Fist to 5? Oh, maybe like 2, 3, 1-ish. Let's do 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes on this, and then we'll move on. Okay? And then you can all have it in your drive, and if you need it for later. So we have to. Are we being? Something I learned. Yes. Exactly. Okay, but we can get started maybe. If you have
So what do you call us?
I'm most likely to have to be on the front. I'll say if you're
If you're a 0 group, you can discuss with your team, that's the last part, how this is going to be beneficial to start next year. Okay? If you're a 0 group, how might this be beneficial to you for next year? Okay. Nothing like a good lull. Okay, we're going to move on. I just want to make sure you all can see this. You all have access to your specific team level document. We're good? Okay, awesome. Okay, so the last thing on our list today was looking at the data from your surveys, which I have done. So we gave you a survey at the last meeting. It was to tell me how I did, which I appreciate the comments. It was also to tell what you are interested in learning more about. So the two things that were about 50% were number talks and guided math. I obviously can't break into those today. What I will tell you is that on April 1st, when we have our PD day, there are going to be some sessions, and I'm going to have two sessions. One will be for number talks, and one will be for guided math. And I know that you'll be getting an email from Chris and Brian, and you decide with your teams who you want to go where. But if you're really interested in those particular things, then just say, hey, I'm going to go to the math one. And there will be two. But I wanted to give you kind of an overview of things that you can use for now. So with number talks, really the task and share structure, that first structure that we looked at, that is the perfect structure for a number talk. Now, you can make your number talk your first 5 minutes of your math lesson. You can do that. Or you can expand it into a whole lesson, okay? So there's two ways to do it, and that's something I'll be talking about at our next training on the 1st. So what is it? It's a powerful tool for helping students develop their computational fluency. So really, it's more addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And that is so important for us if you think about it. Basic facts. I mean, those basic facts are, some of the kids are really struggling. This is how you're going to really get them to think about what the basic fact means. The format, this is just the format that the book gives us. If you do it differently, I know I've talked to Becky and I've talked and said, well, we can switch 4 and 5. It's based off of what you think. But you present the problem. The students work on strategies to figure out the answers. Then the students share their answers. Then they share their thinking with their answers. And then the class agrees on the real answer. Okay? And I will dive into that on April 1st, because it's not just, they find a strategy, they answer it, la-di-da, everything is wonderful, right? There's a lot of work that the teacher is doing during that time. I don't know why this isn't showing very well, but 3 references, you have your book. So everyone should have received their Number Talks book. Hooray! No, we don't have that either. Special ed teachers, I love you guys. I will get them for you.
I emailed Brian.
We're just chilling.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, it's been a really odd year for books, for math books, as you all can tell. So you could, you know, I'm not going to be like, hey, go and read this chapter. No. This is a resource for you to use with your students. I will give you what you need at the trainings that we have, but I am going to give you a quick overview. There is also, on the Vision Math site, all of them are digital. So I know for my team, all of ours are on the Google Drive, because I went to Vision and I saved them and then I posted them to the Google Drive. So if you don't want to use the book, you have it digitally through Vision. And this is called numberstrings.com. It's just a resource. It's a good website. They have more than what are coming from the book. So it's extra. So the reason you brought your headphones today is because I want you to watch a number talk, okay? Basically, before we start, I do want you to open your math workshop book to page 41. Now, I'm sure this is not new for you. Talk moves should not be new for us. the list of math talk moves. Something I do in my classroom at the beginning of the year is go through these talk moves with students so that they know how to communicate and how to work with each other during the number talks, okay? So that they're saying correct things, agreeing and disagreeing politely, okay? So these are some things that you can talk with your students about. Obviously, you guys, we're using these daily. There might be some you haven't used, okay? But the talk moves are what's going to help you. If you set your students up for success teaching them those, then the number talks are going to go really well, okay? So, if you cannot get to the video unless you have the slides up. So, I see some people don't have the slides up. I asked you to bring headphones. If you don't have them, maybe you can share with one of your coworkers and just watch on one screen. I would ask that kindergarten through second grade watch the first grade number talk, and third through fifth watch, I believe this is a third or fourth grade number talk, okay? So I'm gonna give you the time to do that right now because I think it's really helpful to watch a teacher actually doing it in their classroom, okay? Please ask if you need help. What questions do you have for me before you start? Christy, do you have a question? I see.
I was just going to say I forgot my headphones. So if everyone else has their headphones in, then can we just play this level? We're going to do around too.
That is totally fine. I think first grade's doing the same. Okay.
Excellent. Did you see what she said?
That's good, Chris. You can just see
Thank you. She has more right here in this group, and she has more over here in this group, and so she knows that 4, just the number 4 equals 8. Good job. See if they can have how many dots around this tensor? Good job.
Yeah. But you don't feel like you know. If you're registering, if you're
Very good. Thank you. Boys and girls, did you see what he said? He saw 2 right here. Plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. So we counted by 2s to figure out how many groups there were. They count by 2s for me. Very good. So that's the difference. Okay. 2 plus 2 plus 2
not mine.
Can you point out here to tell me what you did?
Why does he have it right on you? You have it right.
Just moving around.
Nope. I tried this afternoon too.
There's a vision site.
So let's try.
You may be able to find it on your yes, that's right. But I didn't talk about it. So, yeah, so go into the vision. That's right, it's Abby. Abby too.
You said it was their idea, right?
I even reset the password.
That's okay. So go
Sheldon's works because he used that on his None of them work. Caroline's in here. Lucian's in where.
and they should be yelled Alright, so I'm hearing a bit of chatting, and now I feel like you guys have seen it, so if you could all just pause your video. As I went around to talk to everybody, you know, we're doing this, okay? So it's not new to us. It's kind of a refresher. It's kind of like giving us affirmation. Okay, good. We actually are doing this, right? So it's not new, and I want you to know that we know that you're using this already in your classroom, okay? And so to finish up our meeting for the day, the second thing from the data that I collected was that you were interested in learning more about guided math. And I had said that I will do a number talks and a guided math session on the 1st. What I have right now for you is that it's similar to guided reading if you have ever taught guided reading. I know K to 2 usually does guided reading, 3 to 5 transitions kind of out of that, and now that we're in Lucy World, we just take strategy groups. So it's similar to strategy groups. If you're thinking that, you know, the math workshop it lends itself to the reading and writing workshop because you are pulling those strategy groups for math. You are conferring with your students during that center time the same way you would be in reading or writing. So it's based on the students' needs. It's based on reteaching. And the resource I'm going to leave you with right now is called Launching Guided Math. This is from the Vision site. And I'll pull it up for you. I know some of you had seen this the last time we met, but I'm just going to show you the table of contents. This gives you an overview, how to manage the class during this, how you're going to group your kids, how to organize it, step-by-step guides to launch, resources and things like that. It's everything you need to set yourself up for guided math. No, I'm not saying, hey, you guys got to go and do guided math right now. Think about it for next year, okay? If you're not pulling your kids for math based off of the data that you're receiving, think about how you can start doing that, okay? So I'm going to leave you with, please sign up for the math sessions on the 1st. I would love to see your faces. And thank you for today. Does anyone have any clarifying questions for me? No questions? That Bitly thing had a lot more stuff underneath it. lessons, so there's 4. So it's like the first 4, and then 5 through 9, and so on and so forth. And that's just another tool. Please remember these are all tools for you. They're not implementations, you're already doing it. Okay? So thank you all. I appreciate you for coming, and you are free to go.